All right, let's talk about something that honestly impacts every single one of us: cybersecurity. I mean, think about it, from your bank account to your DMs, so much of our life is online now. And understanding how to protect that digital life, well, it's never been more important. So let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, who actually needs to care about all this stuff? Who should be actively thinking about cybersecurity? You might think it's a niche topic for IT pros, but the answer is, well, it's a lot broader than you might expect. Yeah, you've got the usual suspects, right? Security engineers, IT specialists, banks, big tech companies. Of course they care. But in the world we live in now, the real answer is so much simpler. It's everyone. Seriously, if you've got a phone in your pocket, a computer on your desk, or any device that connects to the internet, yep, this is for you. So to make sense of all this, we're going to walk through 5 key areas. Think of it as our game plan. First, we'll survey the digital battlefield. Then we'll take a peek inside the attacker's toolbox. After that, we'll look at the human element, because that's often the weakest link. Then we'll cover our digital defenses, and we'll wrap it all up with a personal playbook with steps you can take right away. All right, let's dive into section 1. Welcome to the digital battlefield. Before you can defend anything, you gotta know what you're up against, right? And at the highest level, it really boils down to 2 fundamental types of attacks. And this right here, this is the core puzzle of cybersecurity. On one hand, you have passive attacks. Think of it like someone listening in on your conversation. It's super hard to spot because nothing actually changes. But the good news is you can prevent it with stuff like encryption. Then you've got active attacks. This is when someone actually changes the data. Now that's tough to prevent, but hey, since something's different, it's way easier to detect. It's this constant cat and mouse game. Okay, so we've mapped out the battlefield. Now, what kind of weapons are the attackers bringing to the fight? It's time to open up the attacker's arsenal. This is basically our intelligence briefing on their favorite tools of the trade. And the number one tool in that arsenal, without a doubt, is malware. Put simply, it's just any piece of code or a file that's designed to do, well, whatever the attacker wants it to do on your device. It's kind of like a digital crowbar or a set of lockpicks for breaking into your system and causing trouble. So, what's the end game here? What are they trying to do with this malware? Well, the objectives are usually pretty straightforward. They might want to take complete remote control of your machine, use your computer to blast out spam to a million other people, poke around your home network, or, and this is the big one, steal your sensitive data. We're talking passwords, credit card numbers, you name it. Okay, now take that one infected computer and imagine multiplying that power by thousands or even millions. That's what a botnet is. It's a whole network of infected devices, and I mean everything from computers and phones to your smart TV, all being controlled by one single attacker, the bot master. It's literally a zombie army of computers just waiting for orders. And building that zombie army follows a pretty clear life cycle. It all starts with a motivation. Let's be real, it's usually about money. Then they start the infection and propagation phase, spreading the malware far and wide. Once they have their army, the bot master sets up what's called a command and control server to give out orders. And the final step? Monetization. They use the botnet for all sorts of nasty stuff, like running spam campaigns or even renting it out to the highest bidder. So what do you do with a giant zombie army of computers? Well, one of the most popular things is to launch what's called a distributed denial of service, or DDoS attack. The idea is brilliant in its simplicity. You get every device in your botnet to send traffic to one single target, say a website, all at the same time. It gets so overwhelmed it just shuts down. Think of it like causing a massive traffic jam on the internet, so nobody can get to their destination. And there are a few different flavors of this attack, different ways to cause that gridlock. A SYN flood, for example, is like knocking on a million doors at once and then running away, leaving the server waiting for an answer that's never going to come. Or an HTTP flood, which is sneakier. It sends what look like totally normal requests to a website, but just an impossible number of them, until the site just gives up. Different tactics, same result. Chaos. All right, so far we've been talking about code and networks and all that techie stuff. But you know what? Some of the most devastating attacks don't target computers at all. They target us, people. And that brings us to the human element, where attackers exploit our single greatest vulnerability, our own trust. And this is where we get into what's called social engineering. This isn't about breaking through a firewall. It's about tricking a person. It's all about psychological manipulation to fool someone into making a mistake, like giving up their password or clicking on a bad link. Forget complex code. This is the art of the digital con. And the classic example of this, the one we've probably all seen, is phishing. You know the ones, those emails that look like they're from your bank or Amazon or Netflix. They're crafted to make you feel a sense of urgency or maybe curiosity, just to get you to click that link and hand over your info without thinking twice. Okay, that's a lot of doom and gloom, I know. We've seen the threats, so now let's talk about the good guys. Let's talk about our digital defenses, the fundamental building blocks that keep our entire online world from falling apart. And it all rests on a few core security services. You've got authentication, which is proving you're you, access control, which decides what you're allowed to see and do, data confidentiality keeps your secrets secret, data integrity makes sure nobody's tampered with your stuff, non-repudiation is like a digital receipt, proof that you did something, and finally, availability, which just means the service is actually up and running when you need it. Let's double-click on that first one, authentication, because it's probably the one you deal with the most every single day. At its core, it's just the process of verifying that someone or something is who or what it claims to be. It's literally the internet's version of a bouncer checking your ID at the door. So really, it all boils down to this one simple question. Every single time you type in a password, scan your fingerprint, or get one of those little codes sent to your phone, the system is just asking, are you really who you say you are? And getting that answer right is our most important line of defense. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. We've talked theory, we've talked threats, we've talked defenses. Now let's get to the most important part, your personal security playbook. These are simple, actionable things you can do to protect yourself starting today. Look, I get it. It's easy to feel, well, kind of helpless. You hear about these massive data breaches at huge companies and think, what can I possibly do about that? It feels like it's totally out of our control. But, and you have to hear this, while you might not be able to stop a giant corporation from getting hacked, you absolutely can reduce the impact that event has on you. It's all about building your own personal digital fortress, making yourself a much, much harder target, and making sure that when a breach does happen, and it will, the damage to you is minimal. So here's your action plan. Step 1, get a password manager. Use it to create a different, strong password for every single website. That way, if one gets breached, the rest of your accounts are safe. 2, always look for HTTPS in your browser's address bar before you type in any sensitive information. 3, just be mindful of what you share online. The less data you put out there, the less there is to steal. 4, use good antivirus software. It's a no-brainer. And 5, check if your email has been part of a known data breach. That way you know which passwords you need to change immediately. So there you have it. We've looked at the battlefield, the weapons, the psychology of the attack, and our best defenses. We've even laid out a simple playbook. The only thing left to do is to take that first step. So the question is, what's yours going to be?